Hi everybody, welcome to the QB School. I am JT O'Sullivan. Today, Sam Howell, part 4. Let's get it. Welcome to the QB School. Sam Howell, part 4. Have yourself a day. Week 1, 220, almost goes for 300. 1 touchdown, 2 picks, kind of all over the place. Love this first rep here, though, on the video. Gets them to jump, essentially a free play. The creativity, the arm strength to be able to rip it. He takes an inside release on the outside, put it right on him, on the body, on the break, up and down before the half field safety. One of those throws you almost never see thrown. So just watch that receiver down here at the bottom of the screen. Going to inside on that cloud right there. But because it's a free play, you can take a little bit of a chance there, rip that thing up and down before that half field safety. So again, this is just one of those throws, special throws. And I know it's a free play, so you can be a little bit more of a risk taker. But again, you have to have the arm strength, the accuracy, the football IQ to be able to rip that in time. Free play, all his cleats in the ground, rip up and down before that half field safety with an inside release. Just really rare. Next one here, 3rd and 20. We're going to throw a fallout up top to the number 1. I'm going to guess that this is the old 6-play air raid style. Non-cert talking though. Again, some things that I love, just the arm strength to be able to rip this thing to the field. 3rd and 20, still not a first down, but a big 15-yard gain. Again, the only thing I would say here for me, and again, I'm by no means an air raid expert. To me, this looks and feels like a bracket-ish coverage. What I mean by that is that we're going to get some variation of 3/2. And so when I'm thinking 3/2, I'm thinking the number 3 and the number 2 receiver right here. So right here, we're running out here. And it's essentially these 3 for these 2. We're going to get one-on-one out here, and that's where he ends up going. Okay, great. Right here, this little one-on-one. I like that matchup. Again, it looks like it's probably some sort of what I'm used to calling poach, where depending on the release here of this number 1 receiver, so really specific here with this number 1, if he goes inside, it's going to become a double. If he goes outside, the corner's going to take him one-on-one. So when he goes outside, which I'm assuming he goes outside here, we're now going to try to eye up that number 3. So it would be right here running into this hole. And this is kind of where that film study really takes it to the next level as far as what level of football you're at and what they're asking you to do. If someone's trying to cover a vertical number 3, so let's say that this player is the number 3. He is the number 3. And he has any iteration of a vertical. And that defender trying to match him is at the line of scrimmage. In most offenses, specifically in the league, this will be an absolute massive high alert shot. It's very difficult to go into this space and be covered by someone who's at the line of scrimmage. Just impossible. So just one of those things you can pick up as you play this thing more and more. This is just an iteration of 4 verticals, air raid style. But for me, anytime I see that match player at the line of scrimmage, I'm thinking, oh, I got a shot to the special or to the middle of the field. You can see how difficult it is. 31, running out of there. Even if you throw it, he's got his back turned, right? Always talking about only covering the width of his shoulders. And then you could see potentially he could rip that thing in right on the number 3. And again, I don't know how they teach it. I don't pretend to know how they teach it there. But I can tell you that puts a lot of stress on a defense to be up at the line of scrimmage with that bluff, be able to come out there. And if he throws that, he probably gets the first down. I get it. I have the clicker. A lot of it is based on the release down here of the number 1 at the bottom of the screen. He goes outside. That safety now can become a threat on number 3. But again, for me, when I see that defender who's going to have to carry the number 3 vertical at the line of scrimmage, I'm thinking I'm probably going to take a shot at that. It doesn't take away the throw to the field, the accuracy, really nice. But just understanding the real nuances here. This could look like, oh man, that's a great completion. And it is. And there was an opportunity for a first down. So that's why you start getting layered here. Mesh is mesh is mesh. Touchdown. Go through here and draw it up just because they run this play a number of times in this game. And I really like what he does the next time we show it. But right here, nice job just going through the read. No to the wheel. Yes to the mesh. Nice pass protection too. Again, too easy. That's a walk-in. But the design here, so how they actually end up doing it. We're going to get that wheel rail out the backfield. So again, this is where most people usually start, really two places. This is the speed out down here at the bottom of the screen to start if you like it. Otherwise, we're working the rail or wheel, and then we're going to come to the mesh. So right here, that's where the touchdown ends up coming from. We're going to get the mesh over the top, and then a lot of teams run a deep hook. They seem to keep running here on almost like a post over or deep over. Again, all the same play. What I really like here is that he goes 1 early, almost could have it 2 late, and then 3 to the mesh. So a bunch of different ways to read this, but really the bones of it are almost always the same. So let's play it out. No to the wheel, yes to the mesh, lots of space, just too much time. Mesh is tough to handle down here where you're trying to mesh things off in the red area if you have that much time with the pass protection. No, that's a big if, but they do a nice job right here, giving them enough time to really go from mesh to mesh, right? You can almost see he's ready to get there early. So he's no, mesh, yes. So that's pretty nice pass protection. Big time. This next one is a pick that I really think is, half the quarterback's issue, half the design structural issue, really more than half the design structural issue. To me, this is a flare screen, double slant, zone man beater. And again, I'm not in the quarterback room, so I can't tell you for sure, but I can tell you how it would work for me in my mind. And it would basically be if nobody runs with this flare or swing screen to the back, so this back is going to be running what most people would refer to as a flare or swing. So he's coming out here, and we're going to block for him out here. If nobody runs, so if one of these guys runs to take off from that, now we think, oh, great, we're going to come out here and have this opportunity for a double slant. Nice little man beater on the other side. Now, this ends up being almost like an in, like a fin here, but really I think it's supposed to be a slant. He just gets jacked at the line of scrimmage. So that's the first thing coming back here, why it's an interception. Even if it's a 5-yard in, I'd want to see more at the top of this route. You got to give me something, separate, come in here. Now, that doesn't take anything away from this being a great play from 2, and really their secondary played pretty well the entire time. Great job sticking his right paw in there and getting this interception. But again, just the design of it, quarterback-wise. So let's go swing. Do we like it? Does anybody run there? Yes, someone does run. All right, well, then now we're trusting these 2 guys to win on the double slant. So theoretically, that's how it's played out. Again, to me, it's a potentially contested throw for sure, but would love that slant to win. So we see that 31, the middle of the 3 linebacker types run with the flare. Okay, we're out of there. Come back to the swing or to the slants. I mean, where are you supposed to go with the ball? All Sam Howell does is put it right on the body on the break. The defender makes a nice play, stands over him, clown style. But you can see that the swing, back, look at that right hand from the DB, just stick his paw in there. Boop. That's a hell of a play. Bad things happen when balls get batted in the middle of the field, and there it is. So goes on the quarterback stat line as a pick. Was it really the quarterback's fault? I'd probably argue probably not as much as the design and just good play by the DB. Here's mesh again. This time they get it to the rail or the wheel early, really what I'm used to calling a bullet. Reason it's on here is that really I just don't see a whole lot of air raid teams make this type of throw consistently. Usually it's more down the field with the rail. So again, I've already drawn up this play. So the wheel down here to the bottom of the screen, speed out up top, mesh by the 2 number 2s. I love this throw. The reason it's on here is because I love this throw. I loved playing it like this. I love the quickness. I love his footwork. All his cleats in the ground, right on him. Man, this is a big 3rd down, 3rd and medium. I'd love to see this guy break this tackle and make this a massive play. But get it to your guys going downhill in space. Yes, please. Halftime, you dig the channel and you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the bell, get the notifications. It lets you know when we go live, when we put out new content. I certainly appreciate the support for the channel. Then if you are looking for the deepest of deep dives, get over to the Quarterback School courses. Got a bunch of different courses. An RPO course we talk a lot about in this video, pass protection, how to beat every coverage, a quick game course. All those links are in the description. I appreciate it. Let's keep this one going. This thing is a handoff. On the body, on the break. Get downhill. Get your heels up and go. Make that guy miss. But I love the fact that it's executed like this. Normally, I think of mesh as a more slow developing play for most air raid teams. This one is executed perfectly. Next one here is probably my least favorite throw in the entire game. Taking a shot on what I'm going to call an inside vertical. It might be a post. Either way, I think Howell doesn't do a good enough job using his head. Certainly using his head meaning looking off, but then obviously the decision to throw this ball and the touch of it, the trajectory of the ball is just too flat. So we're going to go over the top on, and the reason I'm calling it inside vertical is because if it's a post, you almost never want to make this throw. But it ends up being a pseudo post, and it's certainly a nice play by 7. But the decision to throw this thing and the mechanics of how we got there really never gave it a shot. That coupled with the trajectory of the ball. So let's assume, first let's just identify what the shell is. So it's pretty easy to see, right? Middle field player, post safety, how most people would refer to it. Now, if this is a best release go, which let's assume it is, so he can go inside or outside. Now I'm just speculating. He goes inside here. So we're going to go inside. Now, right here, if you were to run an inside vertical, it's essentially the same thing as a post. You know, if it brings him at all this way, it's a post with a post safety. Those things don't align to where you want to throw the ball there very consistently. And if you do, if for some reason he gets caught up in the run fake or something, this thing has to be an over-the-top, like rainbow drop from a helicopter. It can't be a drive, 4-iron type thing. It's got to be up, high, touch, drop down the line. So first thing, let's watch the receiver down here at the bottom. He's stumbling all over the place. DB gets his hands on him. He's inside. So he's not stacking him. He's getting pushed inside. So at this point, it's a pseudo post. If it's a post, it's a bad post. If it's an inside vertical, it's a terrible inside vertical. Versus a post safety. See that guy in the middle of the field? Now, he certainly shows off some range here, some nice hands for a DB, nice hands for anybody. But man, the structure of the play and the decision to let that ball go for me is just not going to be something that you're going to be able to get away with very often. Certainly got enough time to be able to hold on to it maybe a tick longer and have that thing go over the top. Just tough. Other thing here that I'm always looking at, quarterback throws a pick. What does he do? So he's coming into the screen, getting blocked, getting double teamed really. Going to be tough for him to get over there, but certainly doesn't quit. But tough decision, tough construction of the play. Don't love the route. All those things go into it. Let's watch his helmet. So play fake, and then he's over there looking immediately, right? See the white of his stripe? So play fake. Just tough. That's a hell of a play by 7 as much as anything else, but the decision to make that type of throw versus that type of coverage is not going to be something that's going to go in the offense's favor very often. Next one here, 2nd and 7. Really like this one. Be able to come out here, rip this kind of glance post up top. You can see the leverage of that corner up top. He's inside. It's going to be tough to get. The timing of it, the execution of it, the footwork. Love the footwork. Really do enjoy his base when he throws. Almost always got his cleats in the ground. No heel click. You can see the quick reset. So boom, boom, out on time. Really accurate, intermediate passer. And that's a nice drive throw. Just the tempo of it, the rhythm, fluid. Boom. Right on him to really a tough look coverage-wise. Getting those divider rolls, putting him inside on most of those middle field close coverages. But again, great ball beats good coverage. The tempo, the rhythm of it, some of the better throws of the day. But again, there are design elements for me that are really difficult. So this is an RPO. And this is an RPO for me that I just probably philosophically disagree with. And what I mean by that is that anytime there's a first level RPO, meaning that we're reading someone at the first level, and I'll talk about exactly what I mean, it's really difficult to throw the ball down the field. I think of first level RPOs as you really need to, it's almost a triple option or nothing. So what I mean by that is that this ball down here is going to generously, we'll call it a hitch. It's almost more of like a pseudo stop, a little bit longer. And when we're reading, what I think they're reading here is the C-gap defender or this defensive end here, and they're running some variation of wide zone. If this person that we're reading, if he doesn't chase the dive, so normally if he doesn't chase the dive, we'll hand it to him. Well, if he kind of plays in between here and we decide to throw it, no one's blocking him. So he's got his hands right in it. Now it's coupled even worse when they stunt into it, and now there's 2 people in the C gap. But really, it doesn't matter with the stunt. The stunt just makes it worse, more exaggerated. But we're going to, if we're not blocking the C gap defender, then it's really hard to throw anything down the field, in my opinion, because this thing gets blocked, batted, bad things happen. So it's just a philosophical thing where normally you would have, if you're going to run this, a lot of people would call this triple option, have that slot over here, and then we'll just run bubble. And then really you can throw it, but it's a pseudo screen. Anything down the field is really difficult with any sort of first level RPO. Second level RPO, it's a little bit better because now you can block these guys. They usually call what a base call on the backside. You block it so you have enough time to get these throws off. But you can just see it's really difficult to throw the ball down the field with first level RPOs. Now it's made worse here by the ET. But man, give yourself a chance structurally, right? I mean, look at that. 4 hands in his face, unblocked to throw a hitch. And that's a deep hitch. I'm not convinced that's a hitch. So even deeper than a hitch. Really tough structurally. But again, that goes down as an incompletion. Well, is that an incompletion or is that just a poorly structured RPO? Again, they're just running zone read here, wide zone. I mean, this is a bad feeling, y'all. That is a bad feeling. 4 hands unblocked and a guy in the alley. Go ahead and make that play. One more time. And I get why he pulls it, because that 17, that defensive end is screaming down the line. He's turned his shoulders. This is a pull read. But again, the structure of the play does not allow for success. So now let's just hypothetically do this where we go second level RPO. So they're doing first level zone read, essentially, old school zone read, where they are reading right here. Well, now let's hypothetically do a second level RPO. So now we are going to block the first level. So we're going to base this, we're going to base this, and now really these 3, these 4, I don't know what the sniffer does, but I'm assuming those 4 will go to these 4. And we will read this defender. So would that be a little bit easier? Could we get that ball off? Would that be a little bit easier? Could we get that ball off? Yes, I think so. So again, just how these things are structured. What's your system allow you to do? Tough. Real tough. Just interesting when you pull it apart, when you watch the All-22, to be able to start to construct why are some of these incompletions happening. You know, oh, he's a shorter guy, he's getting balls batted down. Does it have anything to do with height or everything to do with the design of the play? Another frustrating RPO. Again, this is coming from someone who loves RPOs. You know, a very good course with RPOs. This is tough. And it's tough on a few levels here. This is a split flow inside zone RPO with a little arrow or spear screen coming back. So the sniffer's coming back the other way. That's who we're trying to throw it to. Now this is like America's second RPO after the glance. But that is just getting crushed. Now this one is a tick more on the quarterback, but I still think it's structurally on the design of the play. And so what do I mean by that? It's even better from the backside, but just watch that sniffer come across. Most defensive ends, when they're left unblocked in the C gap, and they get someone slicing at them, or that tight end coming across, good defensive ends will hold, definitely knock the hell out of that guy, but not going to let him run free into the flat. So he gets just enough piece of him so that Howell can't throw it immediately. Now, I will say, when that happens, you got 2 options. You can either run it, or you can throw it at the guy's feet, or you can just try to run forward and flip it to him kind of like on the move, Zach Wilson style. What you can't do is hold it, especially when the guy is in a pseudo 11 technique, to the front side. So we'll see from the backside. And again, this is structurally how these things are put together. We're reading a first level RPO. So we're reading that defensive end to the right. the guy that we just saw, that sniffer comes across and tries to engage. So we're coming across here. We're getting into the flat, and we are reading this conflict defender. When he gets up the field, I think theoretically you could hand it off here potentially. But if you don't, we're all reaching the front side. All these offensive linemen are coming across here. So it's whatever, scoop here. These two are here. And then this block is the big dog. You got to come all the way out here and try to get your shoulder pad on that outside armpit. That's really hard. So oftentimes they'll tie these guys to just wash him by. Okay, so wash him by, and then the back will just take it and cut up underneath there. Okay, well that's great as long as we hand it off. If we don't hand it off, this dude's running the corner on a quarterback who's taking a hitch. So it's just, I mean, all sorts of issues here. So again, you can see that defensive end to our left. You know, he's basically pass rushing. 72 can't get out there for the reach. You can see 25 going inside, a little inside zone. But because he gets knocked, Sam Howell gets knocked just a tick, got to hold it, and now we're eaten. So, I mean, that's a lot of moving parts really quickly. I think if anything, this to me is on everyone, all of the above. Last couple here, this is one that I don't know if I've ever seen before. This is an RPO where he goes full field to read. So split flow inside zone, 6-person RPO, no to the glance up top, yes to the glance to the boundary. Just pretty rare. I don't pretend to tell you why he's even throwing it, but I can tell you that I love the fact that I see quarterbacks go full field like this. Now, this is a recipe for disaster for me long term, but usually this is a 7th defender read where the quarterback is reading the 7th defender to either side. That's why they have kind of double glance going. So theoretically, to me, with this orbit motion, or motion with this back slot behind the quarterback, wherever they rotate down, that's the side we're going to read. It looks like he just grips it and rips it to the top. It's not there. He then comes back to the bottom glance and fits it in. So again, you know, I don't pretend to tell you exactly what their reads are, but I can tell you how most people read this play. It's going to be off this one of these players, whoever comes down. So with this motion, he's coming down. So to me, the read should be over here. Now, it's still a cool play, but it's also a penalty. So where's the ball? The ball's on the 16-yard line. You tell me where the left guard ends up. And that's why defense coordinators are so pissed. It's tough to be able to, you know, this is one of those like magical unicorn opportunities again. 2-in-1 game. And the left tackle's 5 yards downfield, doesn't touch anybody. Crazy. Still, quarterback-wise, love the patience, love the ability to go full field, certainly. But, I mean, it's tough. It's tough on the defense. Great job making it happen. Last one here is just an over from up top. Love the fact that he gets a little bit out of structure here. Up, dip and rip, get going, obviously wide open with the double post clear out. But I love the fact that he's able to get off that launch point, dip and rip that right shoulder, up under, make a really accurate throw, kind of on the move, put it right on him, let his guys go make plays. Man, I love that stripe. They got some good looking uniforms. The whole sideline is set up pretty sweet. Big fake 7-person protection up, accurate enough to get outside of the structure of the play and be able to make a throw down the field. Just love to see the kind of full catalog of throws, ripping it outside the numbers, when things break down, making a play, inside the pocket, quick sudden movements, and accurate down the field. Lots to like. So that is a wrap. Sam Howell, part 4. Really all over the place as far as the performance, in my opinion. Now, this was the week 1 starter for UNC, and so they certainly got better and better as the season went along. But, you know, a little sporadic to say the least. And so I'm interested to continue to see more and more. I think it'll be fun to see the development as over the course of the season and into the following fall. So excited to see it. Let me know what you think. I appreciate the support. I will see you next time. Have a good one.